Sending a business email is not like sending a message to your friends or family. Your email messages represents you and your company to other business professionals. As with any form of communication, you will be judged on what you say and how you say it in an email message. It is important that you follow these simple rules of professional email etiquette to make sure your email communications make the right impression. If you are using a company email address on company equipment, it is your responsibility to use those tools in a professional manner that relates to the job you were hired to do. This means that sending non-business related emails, forwarding jokes, chatting to emails and friends or coworkers is unprofessional. Make sure you are using the company email address for work-related communication only. Many companies monitor their technology use, so you should assume that others will read and monitor anything you send. The first thing you do typically when composing an email message is to address it to the person or people you are sending it to. There are 3 fields to choose from. The to, T-O, this is where an email address goes to the person or persons you are sending the message to and whom you expect to get a response from. The second one, CC, which stands for carbon copy. This carbon copy field where you put the email address is for anyone who should receive this message for information only. When you put an address in this field, the person is not required to respond or comment to this message. BCC, blind carbon copy. Typically, it's inappropriate to use this field. When people are sending an email address, when you put it in the CC category, they can see it. In the BCC category, they cannot. The most important thing to remember when addressing an email message is to make sure you send it to only those people who need the information. Including too many people in the distribution list fills people's mailboxes with the unnecessary email messages and wastes people's time if they do not need to be included in the communication. The subject line is the next field you must fill in. You must always include a short descriptive statement in the subject field that tells the person receiving your email what it is about. Sometimes if it's not clear what you're emailing about, your message may not even be read, so be short and clear about what your message contains. For example, response to questions regarding benefits. Next, questions in regards to sales figures you requested. It is never appropriate to send an email with a blank subject line. When composing the body or the main part of the email message, you must first address the person you are sending the email to. This is also known as greetings or salutations. It is always best to address someone in a more formal manner, such as these examples here. Dear Miss Jones. Or next, hello, Mr. Nile. And finally, Dr. Smith, in a more formal manner. In the event you do not know who will be reading your email, it is acceptable to address it with this example here. Dear Sir, if it is a male, or the second example here, Dear Madam, if it's a female. You should continue addressing them in this formal manner until they invite you to call them by their first name. Similar to the greeting, the body of the email message should be written in a more formal, business-like writing style. Some people make the mistake of thinking that the email is a more informal or casual type of communication. Over time, as you develop a relationship with a customer or fellow business person, you may begin to use a more informal language in your emails, but only time will allow this to develop. When in doubt, write as if you were composing a formal letter to be sent to the recipient on your company's letterhead. The body of the email should also be clearly written. Make sure your email can be easily understood and not create confusion for the reader. Next, be brief and to the point. Do not send extremely long email messages. A good rule of thumb is that it should not be over one screen in length. Make sure you make your point as quickly as possible. Next, it should be free of grammatical, spelling, and punctuation errors. There is no excuse to send an email message with any of these. Most email programs can do spelling and grammar checking. If your email program does not do this, or you are unsure, ask a coworker to proofread your email address before sending it. After the body of the email message, you should show the reader common courtesy by including a complimentary closing to your message, such as, first, a simple thank you. Next, sincerely. Then you sign your email messages with your name. If you communicate via email, you need to make sure you check your account as often as possible for messages. You should check your email several times a day, at least. It is also very important to respond to any messages you receive as soon as possible. As a guide, you should respond within 1 day of receiving the email message. When replying to an email message, all of the rules we have discussed apply to that response. One thing to be very careful about is selecting the Reply to All button. This means that your response to the email message will be sent to every person the sender of the original email chose to send their message to. You may not want all of these people to receive your reply, or it may be necessary that they all see your response. Always use caution before replying to any email messages. By following these rules of business email etiquette, you will show people that you are a responsible business professional who is capable of conducting business via email.